Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD1111 class, which is .NET Framework with Web Databases, I'm going through a series of video presentations I'm creating based on the textbook that will be used for this class for the fall 2019 semester. That textbook, as shown on the screen right now, is Pro ASP.NET MVC5, and a press text by Adam Freeman. I'm working my way through Chapter 16 out of 27, and I'm on the bottom of page 434, which, as you can see, is entitled Creating a Custom Route Handler. I've relied on the MVC route handler in my routes because it connects the routing system to the MVC framework, focus of this book. Even so, the routing system lets me define my own route handler by implementing the iRoute handler interface. Figure 16-22 shows the content of customroutehandler.cs that was added to the infrastructure folder. I don't know what I did right there. That was interesting anyway. Cancel. Wow. So this should be called customroutehandler.cs. And in there, we want to change the content to what's shown here on page 435. The purpose of the iRoute handler interface is to provide a means to generate implementations of the iHTTP handler interface, which is responsible for processing requests. The author says here, in the MVC implementation of these interfaces, controllers are found, action methods are invoked, views are rendered, and the results are written for the response. So, I register the route handler in the route config. Come on, you. Why is it doing that? So there's that. When we request the URL /say hello, the custom route handler should be used to process the request. Well, let's find out. Good time to do a file save all, run the program. Alright, it says it's not configured to show this. That isn't good. So let's try it one more time. And notice we get hello. All right, we had to add that or we got an error message. And the author does mention right underneath this, implementing custom route handling means taking on responsibility for functions normally handled for you, such as controller and action resolution, but it gives you freedom. In other words, it lets you control exactly what happens when. All right, most of the rest of the chapter, starting on page 436, it concentrates on a feature of the MVC framework that's called areas. Notice as it says, each area represents a functional segment of an application. So you could have an administration area, a billing area, a customer support area, etc. And it says this is useful on large projects where having a single set of folders where you put all of your controllers, all of your views, and all of your models can become unwieldy. All right. Each area then has its own folder structure, allowing you to keep everything separate. Makes it more obvious which project elements relate to each functional area of the application. To add an area, the author says we must right mouse click on the name of our project in the Solution Explorer window and choose Add Area from the pop-up menu. Visual Studio will prompt us for the name of the area, and in the example here we're specifying admin. This is a pretty common area to create, the author says here, because many web applications need to separate the customer-facing and admin function, and that makes sense. Click the Add button to create the area. All right, so let's right mouse click on the name of our project, Add Area, Admin, hit Enter. All right, and notice we have this area folder here now. After you click Add, Visual Studio will add an Areas folder to the project. This contains a folder called Admin, which represents the area just created. The author says here, if I were to add additional areas, other folders would be created here. Inside the area Admin, you'll see a mini project. Controllers, models, and views. The Areas folder also contains a file called admin area registration.cs. And as the author says, the contents are shown right here in figure 1624 on the bottom of page 437. And afterwards, the author mentions here, the interesting part of this class is that the register area method. As you can see from the listing, this method registers a route with the URL pattern admin/controller/action/ID. We can define additional routes in this method, which will be unique to the area. And then there's a cautionary note on the bottom of the page. If you assign names to the routes, you must ensure that they're unique across the application, not just the area. All right. I do not need to take any action to make sure that the registration method is called. Visual Studio added a statement in the global ASAX file to take care of that for me. So we should have this. Let's double check. There it is. This call causes the MVC framework to go through all of the classes in the application, find those derived from the area registration class, and call the register area method on each one of them. All right. Bottom of the page, populating an area. You can create controllers, views, models in an area, just like in the previous examples. To create a controller, you right mouse click on the controllers folder. Within admin, choose Add Controller, empty Add Okay, so we're going to make a home controller, I guess, in here. So we go into our areas. Now I'm going to close a few things. Just try to make it easier, or how about this? Make it harder for me to screw up. All right, there's my controllers. Right mouse click, add, controller, empty, add, home. The contents are shown here and also in the book on page 439. The author says after this, I'm not going to change the controller code. Just rendering the default view associated with the index method will be enough for this sample. All right, we want to create the area admin views home index folder. So you'll notice we do have that already. They want us to right mouse click in here, choose add, new item, and I think we come in here for MVC, and we want MVC5 view page razor. We want to set the name of this to index.cshtml. And we want to edit the contents so it matches those on the bottom of page 439 in our book, so that it matches these. It says the point of all this on the bottom of the page here is to show you that working inside of an area is just the same as working in the main part of the program. If you start the project and navigate to /admin/home/index, we should see this. We'll find out in just a minute. All right, let's do a file, save all, and let's run the application. And once it comes up, we may get an error message here, and don't worry if we do. All right, we want to go to /admin/home/index. And as you can see, admin area index exactly as it is shown on the top of page 440. All right. Now the next thing that's in here is resolving the ambiguous controller issue, but I am already at 13 minutes, almost 14, so I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to pick that up in the next lesson.